if the relationship has crossed over a point where it's become controlling or violent or abusive, then that relationship needs to go. It needs to be released. And if you stay in such a relationship, no harm, really, if you're willing to ask yourself, why am I staying in this relationship? Relationships are so tricky, aren't they? I mean, they pose the greatest challenge to us. And the reason why they do is because I believe relationships pose as a mirror to our own inner self. So all the ways that we haven't grown in our own life, they're going to be reflected in that relationship. A lot of why we feel the way we do in relationships is because we're carrying this baggage from childhood and we're repeating the dynamic in the relationship. I always say that we are addicted to this repetition of patterns, to recreating emotional experiences from our childhood that have now become a pattern, a habit, and we get addicted to it. We don't realize it, you see. We think, oh, I fell in love with someone new. How am I feeling the same way? The reason you're feeling the same way is because that way hasn't been resolved inside you. You haven't healed what you came here to heal. And you're skipping from one relationship to the other and not learning the lesson you need to learn. The relationship is a mirror for you to grow. Now, having said that, if you're in a relationship where you simply feel that you cannot grow, well, then that is a sign for you that maybe this relationship is not the right fertile ground where you can grow right now. And it's really important for us to learn to have boundaries, to release relationships that do not serve our highest good. If the relationship is one where both can grow, then I believe that relationship is important to stay in and to learn the lessons you came to learn. Even if it's poking you, even if it's jabbing you, even if it's showing you parts of yourself that you don't want to see, it's good. You're seeing parts of your shadow that need to be healed. Use the relationship to grow. But if the relationship has crossed over a point where it's become controlling or violent or abusive, then that relationship needs to go. It needs to be released. And the reason why most people stay in toxic, chronically abusive relationships is because they're codependent, because they simply cannot stay and stand in their sovereign self. They are enmeshed and extremely needy to be in that dynamic, to be in that abusive relationship. So if the codependent person is willing to look at themselves in the mirror and learn through that abusive relationship, then they are benefiting. But typically, those relationships are so abusive that the codependent person simply needs to leave and then learn their lessons. So it depends on every particular relationship. Each relationship poses different challenges, but the fundamental quality that stays common to all relationships is that they are here to be a mirror to your own addiction patterns, to your emotional experience.